Hey there, how's it going? I'm Todd. Today we're going to talk about the broad category of learning implementation and zooming in a little bit and talking specifically about participant communication. Now, communication out to your participants is something that is an important piece of rolling out a training initiative, but it's something that a lot of times gets lost in the mix. There's so much stuff to do as you're rolling out and implementing training. If you're working with a good partner, they can cover a lot of that, but regardless, the participant communication piece tends to get overlooked or at least not done to the level that it should be to be effective. It's one of the areas that without putting a whole ton of effort in, it can really have a great impact on the outcome of learning. So let's talk about this a little bit further. When people roll out learning and they communicate to the participants, a lot of the times they just focus on the logistics. Here's where you have to be, here's what time you have to show up, here's what courses you have to take. They're just taking them through all that. And while you do need to communicate that, a lot of the times what gets lost in the mix and doesn't get communicated is the why. And the why is really, really important. If you're going to communicate anything, that is really where you want to focus. Why is the organization doing this? What are the underlying reasons for rolling this out? Why is this going to be effective for the people going through the training? Why should they care? How is this going to help them in their role, and why is this learning going to make them more effective and perhaps help them in their career and their personal life? Any key benefits and values that you can see out of this. So you really want to focus on that why. Another piece too is the method of communication that you're using. Now, a lot of times people just use email and that's it. If you can, and if it's possible, it's great to vary up the mediums that you're communicating. So also communicating in person, maybe someone steps in before the training session and communicates that message, or you record a video. We've seen a lot of really cool and creative examples of using different methods of communication and doing that over time. I think another piece, and really I'd say the third element to effectively communicating, is to plan this out. As you know, there's lots of things that are going on during the learning implementation, and so if you plan this out in advance and say, we're going to communicate on these dates, here's where you're going to communicate, essentially creating a communication schedule. There's a lot of tools out there that you can use. Happy to talk to you about that, but the tool is less important, more so than just planning it out. So using those three main tips, focusing on the why, also varying the methods of communication, and planning it out in advance. That's going to really help learning implementation and participant communication. Thanks everybody, and talk to you next time.